a WhatsApp message from the governor's office, and you're like, wait a minute, what about this? And this and this and this, and they'll answer like one thing and they'll just leave you on red. Like it's totally normal to be left on red by this administration, which to me, it's a farce. That's not communications. It's not. It's definitely not. And it's a life and death pandemic. Communications has got to be key. And it's not because people are confused by this type of stuff. They're confused about testing. They're just confused about everything because the messaging and the communication is not consistent. So that's why they're not coming out. There you go. 926. Let's go ahead and head into the K-Wave News Zoom room, guys. This is the link. Good morning. My name is Chris. Robert Celestial joins us. I like to keep in touch with Robert because we're really trying to walk this radiation compensation for the downwinders all the way through to the finish line. And there's a lot of people on Guam, right?
Yes.
Who are eligible for this stuff, Robert. And so that's why I always try and every couple weeks I try and shoot you a text. Hey, is there an update? And so you're on this morning because there is an update. You were in a Zoom meeting last week, Robert?
Yes, we were in a Zoom meeting. We have a Zoom meeting with the Frontline Community Group, folks from New Mexico, Idaho, Utah, the Navajo Nation. And what we do is that we talk about our next step, what we've done, what's going on, who we're going to meet. We met with, some of them met with Senator Collins. She's going to try and co-sponsor. We did get a couple of co-sponsors in there with Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming and also Congressman Escobar and Congresswoman Meng in the House. So these are the updates. We're still waiting for the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office to score the bill in the House, and hopefully it'll get passed sometime soon. So other than that, I gave you a link where her name is Isra, I believe, and she's advocating to get Texas in the amendment. So that's good news for us because we talked to her and everything, and we really need El Paso to be included because Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Cornyn is in the Judiciary Committee,
right? And
so that will help tremendously. And we won't have any fallback if I believe that Ted Cruz is in there. For what's been going on in the House Judiciary Committee. So we're also trying to get from Utah, Senator Romney and Senator Lee to co-sponsor the Senate bill. And that's where we're at today. I just want to let the people of Guam know and the members of PARS, we're going to have a Zoom meeting this Friday. If anybody wants to join our meeting, and we're going to try and plan for the next, general membership. So that's where we're at. And I'd like to give not only an update, but for those folks who don't know what the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, it's for the people of Guam who were kept in the dark for so many years, that we were inundated with nuclear fallout from the Marshall Islands from 1946 to 1962. And a lot of people were here and were affected. And if you have the compensable diseases of cancer and chronic diseases, then you might be eligible to apply for the compensation when Guam and Idaho and New Mexico and other states in this 2021 amendment is passed. So the benefits are, Chris, is that just like is free medical care and $150,000 compensation to those who qualify. So that's why we've been pushing so hard for 20 years. It's taken 20 years, and we're still in the ball game. We're probably in the last inning.
Oh, we're in the ninth inning, Robert. Right on.
Yeah, we're in the ninth inning, man. But we still have three more outs. But July 9th of this year, we have February, March, April, May. We have 5 more months before this program ends.
Right.
We've asked Jerry Naller, like I wrote to you, met with Senator Grassley, and he talked about an extension. It looked good, but we really don't want an extension. The frontline community came up and said, we really don't want an extension because extension would just make it fall right back to where it was, and people forget about it, and then in the last minute they'll try and pick it up again. So that's the strategy we're trying to say is like they've got to pass it. They got to pass it soon. Yeah.
Robert, when you talk about the Congressional Budget Office scoring this measure, right, and then you talk about, El Paso and all these different senators are now wanting to, or we want them to include their jurisdictions in it. Is it a case of the more, the merrier, the more Congress people that jump on this measure, the better chance it has of passing? Or are you worried at all that that's going to drive the CBO score up to a point
Well,
where
the
it's like,
CBO score, the CBO score is important. Yes. However, we've had talks with staffers, and we believe that if for the past 20 years they've only spent $2 billion for that they released for the compensation for RICA for those that were eligible, $2 billion, and our what you call it, our defense, if they say that it's money, then hey, what about all those aircraft carriers and the nuclear bills and everything? I mean, those are in the trillions, and so we're just asking for billions of dollars just for the next 19 years if this thing is passed. And so, but the strategy is that if we could get Texas and Romney and Lee and these guys to co-sponsor, then we have a greater chance, because then Texas is going to be included, El Paso, and hopefully we'll get the ball moving.
right?
Because the House, all we need to do now is just get it passed in the House. Now we're working diligently with the lobbyists there in Congress, and I like to bring up that we hope that Mr. Underwood will help us now that he's with the commission with the president.
That's
right?
right. Yeah. So, what type of assistance do you think former Delegate Underwood would be able to provide?
Yes, and so I spoke to him and I said, you really need to address our issue, especially for the health and for the people of Guam. And now that he has the ear of the president, what do you think?
Sounds like you got an in.
I know, and that's what I'm hoping. I mean, he's in a position to do something for the people of Guam again, and that's what we're hoping and praying for. Because we have a lot of different groups out there lobbying for RICA, not just the frontline community groups, and they've been very, very successful. And so we're hoping and praying that we continue on. I mean, we're meeting with so many senators and congressmen there in the United States that some of them, they listen, they say, okay, I'll sign on. But some of them are hesitant. We don't know why they're hesitant, but we'll just have to continue our advocacy. And we're just blessed, Chris, because we don't have a senator. We don't have a congressman that votes. And by the grace of God, we're still in the bill.
Right.
And they're fighting for us, too.
That's really neat. What about our Congressman, St. Nicholas, Robert?
Well, I haven't heard from him, so I don't know. I can't, like I said last time, I can't speak for him. Yeah.
Do you wish you could, be able to count on his, I mean, obviously, right?
Excuse me?
You do wish you could be able to count on his support for this measure?
Yes. Well, he says he supports it, so, that's his take. I like to always try and take the high road and be positive, and hopefully, and I pray. I don't know what his intentions are. Is he going to run for governor? Is he going to continue to run, stay there in Congress? So we don't know. And this is an election year, and it's very important. This is a very important issue for the people of Guam. Yeah. And I want to thank a lot of people, especially the members of PARS. They've been hanging on and hanging on. And the legislature's been doing a great job. The governor has supported us. So we want to just thank Senator Crapo, Senator Lohan, Congresswoman Teresa Fernandez. And, we have a lot of good senators and congressmen out there supporting this bill. Right. And we have to keep quiet sometimes, because they always say, Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho, New Mexico, Navajo. And then in the end, it says Guam. And it says, what's Guam doing in there?
Hey, munga. No.
So those are the very interesting things that we have to think about sometimes.
Right, yeah.
The bigger picture is that that, we just got to continue to pray, Chris,
Right.
because I really want this to pass for the people of Guam.
Right on.
The benefits are important. A lot of people have cancer, a lot of people have died, and it's difficult. And the thing that gets me is that we've been doing this for 20 years, and it's a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long time to see a lot of people pass over the 20 years that were eligible. And there are a lot of people in the States here in Guam that are eligible to receive these benefits. So that's why we're continuing to fight this all the way to the end.
Right.
And we thank you, Chris, and KWM and the family, and
Of course.
and praise the Lord that you guys are backing us up, because in the beginning, I tell you what, it was a difficult fight.
Right. Robert, can we just go over the compensation, right? So anybody who lived on Guam, I should know it by heart, and I've written this story how many times, but there's a certain time frame, right?
Sure.
And then there's a certain
Yes.
amount. Go ahead.
Exactly. In the bill, it states that anyone on Guam from 1946 to 1962, if you were here on Guam for at least 1 year and you have the compensable diseases of cancer, and it's in the what you call that? It's online, and you may apply for the compensation if you have those diseases, and hopefully that if Guam's included, you will receive $150,000 and free medical care. And if the individual had passed, then their spouse can apply. And if the spouse had expired, then their children could apply. And if the children expired, then it goes all the way down to the grandchildren.
Wow.
The grandchildren could apply for the benefit, $150,000. And so that's we just like the last time we were on, we had to fight for a lot of changes, and we did get it. And so we're blessed in that part.
Lana, they should have let you handle the war claims, Robert.
Well, I tell you what, I better not say anything.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah, it's under water under the bridge, man. Yeah.
Ooh, I
It's
know what
still
you were.
floating.
I know what you were going to say though, but we're good. We're good, Robert.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank
It's well, let's stick to REPA. A lot of people are going to benefit from this this issue, and we just hope and pray that our leaders continue to fight for us. So that's where we're at. I appreciate it.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Robert. Keep me posted. Next update, we'll get you back on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course,
And
of
God
course.
bless.
You too. Good man, Robert Celestial, Pacific Area Radiation Survivors. It's 9:39. We did have a comment here relative to what I was talking about before we went in with Robert. Well, there's a couple actually. Tony Martinez comments in. Well, Mike starts it off with, "They're too busy with campaigning." Tony Martinez.